Good evening, everyone. I've been away on vacation all week. I went to Toronto, so I wasn't making any of these videos, long form or short form, so I took the full week off. Now I'm back. What are we going to talk about? What do you feel like talking about? Well, I'll give you a story. I went to visit Niagara Falls during my vacation up in Toronto, Ontario, here in Canada. And we visit the waterfalls area of Niagara Falls on the Canada side. And beautiful, beautiful area. And the waterfalls, just very intense, very high up. And I had it in my mind as I was traveling to this destination, me and my wife, we rented a car to go down. And when I got there, I had in mind, okay, we're going to try that zip line. But deep down, I had a fear of heights, which is something that I used to have when I was younger, a kid. And you know, that feeling when you're looking over a cliff where you like get that fear in you, like you're going to fall, or, you know, many different humans have fears towards different things. And for me, this was a carried on fear that I've always had my whole life, I guess. And I didn't really know what ziplining would feel like, or to do, or would I feel like I'm falling if I actually got up there and did it. So we got up, and it was our turn to finally go on there. And I remember feeling so much anxiety within my body and just nervousness. And like when it became our turn to put those vests on, I remember this feeling coming over my body, like I couldn't, like almost like, it wasn't like a heart attack. It wasn't. My wife says I lost consciousness, or I passed out. And then the people around were trying to help me out to get out of whatever state of panic. And I assume what happened was I wasn't being open about my fear. I just bought the tickets. We went up there. We're ready to do this zip line. And I passed out. She says I passed out 3 times. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But anyway, there was people around talking to me and to help me. And when I remember coming back to, or whatever it was, I was speaking to some of the workers there who get us set up, put the vest on, get you clipped in. And he was reassuring me that it's safe and it's normal to feel fear of heights, or whatever it is that I was going through. And they asked me, are you still going to do this, or are you okay to do this? I said, of course, I'm up here. I bought the ticket. It wasn't a cheap ticket. I think it was like $75. I was like, let's go. We're going to do this, you know? You know, when you accomplish doing something that you're really afraid of, that feeling of just fulfillment and excitement for being able to accomplish doing something you didn't think you could do. Anyway, that's what I felt like after I had completed doing this zip line. They strapped me on and they sent us down the zip line, and away we went. And I was screaming, and I was like, it wasn't even as fearful as whatever was in my mind prior to doing this zip line. I don't know if you guys have ever zip lined in your life. It's not really that bad, but when you're waiting your turn and you're up really high, all you can do is anticipate, what is this going to feel like when I actually get there? And it was just so fulfilling and gratifying, and it felt amazing to have done it. It was like, it was just, I just don't know why I passed out. It's just my body went into fight or flight. It was like my turn to put the vest on. I couldn't escape it. I didn't speak openly to my wife about my fear of it, because I was like, probably thinking to myself that if I speak about it, then I'm giving into that fear, and I was trying to battle it way too much. And then I just became way overstimulated by the whole situation. It led me to pass out a couple times. Not like pass out and fall and was in danger, but just like almost like a couple of men helped me get into a seated position, apparently my wife told me. So there's my story before we start the video. That when you lean into something you're really fearful of and you accomplish that task, how good it will make you feel by doing it instead of letting the inner child conditioning control that situation. And a lot of that can be related to not just doing something that's really high up, the fear of heights, but maybe a fear of talking to an attractive woman, or a fear of creating a YouTube channel to speak openly to an audience and know, what am I going to talk about? Who am I going to be? What do I need to say? Or how do I create a business where I can coach people, where I can be a fitness trainer and have the app set up and come up with the calories, come up with the workouts. You know, you all have to start somewhere, and it's not in thinking you're not capable. But those are normal feelings, those are normal thoughts. But it's being able to find a mentor or someone to look up to help you through that stuff. And that's what I do here. I help people let go of the fear of what is holding you back and to come up with a solution to start living your best life, living as your best self. Because like I mentioned very often on the channel, when we let go of what is holding us back, we actually break through to that next level. And that next level is what is waiting on the other side. But if you're still here, you're not willing to suck at something for a little bit. Let's use making videos, just speaking to an audience. If you don't just start and not be good at it and not have anyone support you and just keep going at it, you're not going to get out of the hurdle or where you're stuck. You're just going to stay stuck. You're not going to attract an audience. You're not going to come up with your niche, your topics. Like when I started on here, I was very into spiritual books and personal development and letting go of the things that bothered me and feeling like I had no amount of self-worth in the past prior to quitting the booze, quitting the drugs, quitting letting women make me feel like I'm not a good enough man or I'm too fat to win over some woman. When really that was just something that was in my own mind. I was projecting that energy in accordance to what I was thinking was still the truth. And why I thought those things were the truth is because of all the amount of times I got rejected in the past. But I'm here to tell you that whether you're with someone you're not really all that into, or you'd rather someone who's hotter, really it's all just the mind. And the mind wants to play a game with you. And when you allow the mind to play that game, you're not being a gamer. You're being someone that allows your past conditioning to control your current reality.